Good morning, Flyffer. How are you guys doing today? As you guys know, Flyff Universe will open its first server in Southeast Asia in May 2022, which I am looking forward to, as I will be playing in Southeast Asia server as I reside in Thailand. This video is the first part of the 4 parts video, which will be discussing all of the key changes in each class. So let's start with the first class, Knight. Knights are a two-handed melee class with incredible defensive capabilities. Wielding massive swords and axes, tanking enemies is second nature to a knight. So Knight has the best HP to stamina ratio in all of the classes. If you input the stamina in Knight, it will result in more HP compared to other classes. So what are the key changes in Knights? The key changes are in the skill. First, let's talk about the PvP aspect of a Knight. The first skill is Pain Reflection, which has been buffed from Flyff PC from reflect damage 50% to reflect damage 75%, which will increase the chance for a knight to reflect a damage and score a kill. For example, if a full STR strength build poster use an archer skill to knight, and apparently the knight didn't die, the build poster will die instead as a result of the reflected damage. Our next skill, which will make knight more tankiness in PvP, is the guard skill, which will decrease the incoming damage for 40%. And the time is 20 seconds, but the cooldown is 1 minute. So knight will apparently have a 20 seconds time frame for the damage to come in and reduce by 40%. So knight need to use this skill wisely in guild siege in order to prevent dying from an archer skill or any other like high damage output skills. And the third skill for PvP is the sneaker skill, which will reduce the speed of the target to 0%. In PvP, the debuff is only 5 seconds, so it's a great adjustment for sneaker skill, which I think apparently in Flyff Universe you will not have a Scroll of Holy, which will remove all the debuff of your character, which is great. It means that the crowd control skill CC such as sneaker will have more impact in the guild siege. So the role of the knight in guild siege will be a tank and CC. Let's talk about the PvE aspect of a knight. People will usually go with the AoE damage knight, which will gather many monsters around and use their power storm skill to kill all of the monsters at the same time. It is not the greatest damage skill, but it is not the lowest damage skill either. So it's like the trade-off that knights has a high HP but low damage in an AoE damage. Okay, let's talk about the boss hunting aspect of a knight. So we have this skill here, the Pain Dealer skill, which will increase the incoming damage for 5%. People always talk about the new skill Ringmaster Moonbeam that debuff incoming damage plus 8%. But they missed the point of Knight. Pain Dealer damage also casts a debuff for incoming damage plus 5%, which is great for boss hunting as well. Maybe not as much as 8%, but 5% is high for the attacker in the party to deal more DPS. And if you want to go for 1 versus 1 knight, you can use the rage skill, which will increase the attack 10% but the downside is you will receive more damage as a result for 10%. The skill has no cooldown and the base time is 5 minutes, so you can use this skill for leveling as well as boss hunting. The two new skills can only be used with one-handed weapon only. The first skill is Heart of Fury, which will increase your auto attack damage by 15% of your FP, which is incredibly high, at, especially if you are going like full stamina, which your FP will be extremely high. So I don't know how this skill will play out in night, but we'll see. Grand range is like a gimmick skill. It will not be a key changes in night. It's just a skill that recover the FP after you use the Heart of Fury skill. That's it. Playstyle. For night leveling, I recommend an area of effect using a power storm skill will result in the fastest way of leveling. And the alternatively, you can also do 1 versus 1 leveling. A two-handed sword with the rage skill will put you in the 4th DPS class, which is not that bad. Apparently it's really great for knight to use two-handed sword in leveling. And about the boss, mainly your role will be tank and using a debuff of pain dealer to make your party attack the boss with more damage. Alternatively, you can go with 1 versus 1 DPS, which is not that bad, but the tank is better. And the Guild Siege, the main role here is tank and CC. We will all see a lot of tank and CC in Guild Siege, and most of them will be knight, because knight has the highest HP, and also the sneaker skill is very annoying to some classes that needs to get close in order to score a kill. And alternatively, you can play knight as a melee attacker by using a one-handed weapon or maybe two-handed sword. I don't know, but I have seen some players in private server or in Flyff PC go with this route, and they make great result in the score in Guild Siege. But your equipment has to be like top of the line, and we'll see what will happen in Flyff Universe as it opens Guild Siege. The second class is the Blade. Blades love to fight up close and personal, attacking their opponents relentlessly. As a dual wielder of swords or axes, blades push their damage output to the limits. The key changes to the Blade class is the skills. The first skill we are going to talk about is Berserk, which is the most popular skill for 1 versus 1 leveling blades, which has been buffed to increase the attack for 15% and increase the attack speed for 11%, which is vital to blade because blade need to have 100% attack speed in order to gain the highest DPS. In PvP, there are 3 skills that is like the key skill of the blades. The first one is Silent Strike, which has been reworked to add jump animation to blade. After blade use Silent Strike to jump to the target, I guess that blade will be able to do auto attack for 2 to 3 times before they just flee you. That would change how blade play out in Guild Siege. And if you cannot catch them, you can also use the sneaker skill to catch them, which will make the target speed 0 for 5 seconds, as same as the knights. So is interesting. Armor Penetrate. It will cast a debuff to the target melee block minus 40%. It will be 1 minute for PvE, which is great for boss hunting, and 15 seconds for PvP, which is great for like damage dealing in a short period of time. Let's go to the play style of Blade. In leveling, mainly you do 1 versus 1 leveling, which is what blades are made for with their dual sword or dual axis. Alternatively, you can do AoE leveling, which with blade dance with 2 swords, but it's not popular. It's not recommended by me, but you can play that as well if you are like bored with 1 versus 1 leveling of a blade. What about boss hunting? Blade will have the best DPS compared to other classes, so it will be a waste if you do not use Blade as a 1 versus 1 DPS class. I need to delete the alternative role of tank and AoE. No one will use Blade as tank and AoE. Some might, but it's not the great class because it doesn't have the debuff like Knights has. What about Gil Siege? Gil Siege of Blade main role is melee attacker and CC. CC from Sneaker and melee attack by using a silent strike following by an auto attack, and you can boost your damage using armor penetrate if you want to. And that's it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoy it. Leave a comment down below if you think I missed some of the point for Knights and Blade. And if you enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing to Mokung's channel and like the video. More videos will be coming soon after this video. Thank you.